Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So a little intro. You're Lucas. You are the TO for an event that's coming up in September. Tell me a little bit about the event and why you're putting it on.
Yeah, I'm putting it on because I wanna grow CDH in Central Illinois. I think there's a lot of good people here, and I want to be able to bring them big events to play in. I also think it's a really good epicenter for the scene. If you think about logistics of it all, you can pull a lot of players from like Indiana, Chicago, St. Louis, kind of the tri-state area. You can really, I think there's a big foundation to be built there, and I want to be the one to do it by running these big events.
No, the Midwest is a great spot. I mean, the West Coast is really nice, the East Coast is really nice, but you don't hear too much about like the Midwest too much. How did you get into Magic, and do you remember the first deck or format that you started playing?
So I grew up on Magic because my parents, or my dad specifically, played it when he was young too. Kind of just grew up around it. We used to go to these like 13-man casual, like just table 60 card like vintage style formats, like 13-man pods. Just the worst decks ever. I played a 40 Relentless Rat, 20 basic Swamp decks when I was like 6. I played that for a little bit. So that was my first deck, and it was something for sure. But it was a good way to get started for sure because you just learn the basics.
So tell me about the event. What's your vision behind it? Prize pool, player cap, tournament structure. Like, give me the details. We'll go into the why people should go to it, but just like the generalistic information about the event itself.
Yep, so it'll be a judge's promo, guys cradle for first place. I'll be giving out scrub lands to all of top 4, which the irony was lost on me when I was choosing the dual land, but the fact that it's a scrub land for top 4 is kind of funny. It was been pointed out to me, the irony of it, as I announced it more and more, but
Sure.
so I'm hoping that the cradle, it's a very, very prized card for commander players. It is like, I think it's one of like the coolest things you can win, other than like power. Um, I rented out a convention center, so our cap is a little bit over 700 players. I doubt that will happen, but it'd be cool. But we have over 13,000 square feet to play at, so it'll be a very nice room. It's a very cool room, so there won't be any issues with temperature, which is something
Air
I've encountered a lot at these events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important. If it's not cool, people are just sweating the entire time, miserable.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think that's the most important thing, I think. Yeah. Really, the big question that everyone needs to know is really why should people make the trip from the West Coast, the East Coast, or from Texas? You know what I mean? Why are we converging all the way on this event? Why here? Why on the 27th?
Well, so I mean, the biggest thing is the EV of the event. I think it's pretty decent. It's not a super high entry, and cradle for first. It'll pay for more than your trip. So at the end of the day, if you're money minded, it's a good investment. It's a big tournament. There's some room to win your money back for sure. But then as far as the play experience goes, I think I will be able to provide a very good play experience because I'm coming from a player first mindset. I've experienced bad tournaments, whether it's their fault or not. I've experienced bad tournaments, temperature, space, the way rounds are run, the way judge staff is him-hawing about in certain things, whether it's collusion or slow play, and they're not scared. They're too scared to interject. I think as a player first TO, I will be able to provide a good play experience, and I think it's something that no one will want to miss out on.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we're going to that one then. I mean, foil cradle is really hard to beat for sure. And then if you scrub out in the finals, you get your scrub land, right?
And I'll be making sure top 16 will be made sure to get their entry back too. Because as a player, that's something I've always hated. You have this long day, you play 6 rounds. You had a fun day, but a long day. You get to top 16. You have a soul-crushing game. Your combo gets barely stopped by a Beseiju when you have a Grain Abolisher in play. So something crazy happens, and you're like so crushed. And what do you get? You get $5 store credit. It feels awful. So that's something else too that I'm trying to make a big stance on. Is that like top 16 will get their monies back. Like my last event was $40 entry. I made sure to give out like $70 of prizing to all of top 16. Like I want the players to not leaving. Specifically in that top 16 section, I don't want them leaving feeling bad. I want them to feel cared for, basically. I want them to know that I'm trying to provide them with the best experience they can have. I know the worst lows you can have at a tournament, and that I will be trying to prevent those. For example, losing in the top 16, being hot all day. There's a restaurant at the event, which is nice because people forget to eat because you have to leave the building and come back. Hopefully they can, walk over during their round, after their round, I hope all the different tournament lows can be corrected at my tournament.
Why are you organizing events opposed to playing? What kind of led you to that?
I realized really quickly that in CDH, the part of it that I love the most is actually the community and the way people tend to interact in the games. The politics that you find in competitive Commander is unlike any other aspect of any card game I've ever played. I've played a lot of Flesh and Blood. I've played a lot of Magic. I've toyed around with a bunch of different card games. It's just something that you truly never see in another card game is the politics that we have in CDH, and it really makes for some amazing experiences. And as a TO, you actually get to walk around and watch those experiences happening in real time. And then while that's happening, you get to bond with players. They'll come up to you after their game, talk to you about their game, share their experiences. It sucks not getting to play because, I do love Magic. I do love getting to build the decks. I've always been a big deck builder. I love playing the game, but you got to give up something, and unfortunately that has to go. But I think it's worth it in the end.
I think it is too. I think making content or being a community member is so much more rewarding in my opinion. Like I don't lose, you know what I mean? I don't spend $80 to enter a tournament and lose all day or draw all day. No matter what I win, I get to interact with people. That's kind of what I enjoy as well. I haven't played at any events in a long time either, but definitely going to them, seeing people play it, seeing the same people over and over again. And I'm really appreciative that I'm able to talk to you, promote your event, and cover your event here in September. Yes, the 27th. And that's going to be a great because I haven't met maybe as many Magic players as I want to from like the Midwest, even though I'm from there. I was on the East Coast before. Now I'm on the West Coast, so I'm just trying to like go where I can or whatever. So you're incredibly, well, maybe not incredibly young. That's the wrong way to put it. You're younger than I am. How old are you?
I am 19.
You're 19. You're a TO. Yeah. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's super great. For anyone else that's young and wanting to also TO, what would be your advice to them?
It's not as scary as it all seems. When you're young, money is the biggest obstacle for sure. I think it's important to really like quantize it and realize that like there's money to be tapped into in the scene. It's not just a bunch of risk taking. It's actually very easy to get indulged with if you just understand it a little bit more. And the people in the community aren't out for you. You'll meet a rare game store owner, I'm sure, every now and then, but as a general consensus, the community is very supportive. No one's going to try and come for you, screw you over. It's a big support group, honestly, because not only do you want to provide them with tournament and ultimately make money, but they want to have a play space, so they are incentivized to also support you in return. So it ends up being a very symbiotic relationship in a sense.
Are you going to have any like vendors or anyone else there, any local artists, anything like that? Or are you still working on that?
For this first one, I will actually be the main vendor. I have a pretty decent collection, nothing super expeditions, masterpieces, invocations, duels. I'm basically just trying to provide another incentive to come for now. As it grows, I will probably look out to getting some amount of artists or other vendors or maybe some stores to come in, sell some product, but for now, I'll be the vendor there, actually.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, I kind of know East Coast as the responsible players. You have the West Coast, at least Salt City. What would you guys describe your local community and your local meta as?
I would describe our scene as a brewer's paradise, actually. We have a very unconventional meta scene, all the way up to like our 100-player events we've had. Like, just tons of different things. You'll have your Blue Farm, you'll have your Kin, and you'll have your TNT. These decks are good. They have a wide color palette, so they have access to the best cards. But personally, I've won events with the 5-mana Sultai Precon Gonti. I've won an event with the 6-mana Saruman. Our scene is just so full of brewers who love the game and love intricacies in decks and making their own thing. We have some Loomer pilots. We have all the aspects of you would imagine from a very wide brewer's paradise, and it's kind of incredible to see the variety that our scene has. And I've traveled, and I've yet to find a scene that has quite as many experimenters as we tend to have around here.
Okay. I mean, Loomer is an incredible deck. I've seen that thing just absolutely pop off online a couple of times. So, I mean, I am a brewer as well. I really enjoy that. But I'm glad that you guys have that availability. That's something that you guys would consider to be special in your local region?
I would say so, yeah. We have a very friendly scene, a very welcoming scene. We have... I would say our rate of new players developing is an also incredibly immense rate. The way our players communicate is very different, I found. People are very, very open. There is politics, and a lot of the open statements have some underlying politics behind them. But generally speaking, the way people communicate in our scene is very honest, and it tends to be very conducive for new players to actually learn very quickly. One of our recent events, 40, 50-man event, so nothing huge, but there's a player who's been playing for about 6 months now, and he actually top 4'd it. And obviously, I'm sure he's an incredible player, but I mean, I feel like that can be attributed to how honest and our helping our community actually is. We have a very, very, very good community when it comes to that too.
That's awesome. That's definitely what you want. You want the good players to help out the other players so we can all get better together. That's super awesome. While traveling in your guys' area, what's like if I come down there like a day early and I check out the local scene, like what should I be checking out? What's there to see?
Oh, Springfield area, Decatur area, you gotta try the horseshoe. It's what we got.
Okay, the
Pile of
horseshoe.
fries and bread with cheese and meat on top of it. It's what we got.
Okay.
Springfield is home of the horseshoe. It's good.
Okay. I'm more of a Portillo's kind of guy, but that's more north, so I'm with you on that one. That's super cool. So what do you think that the rest of the world can really learn from your local meta?
I would say the communication thing is really nice. A lot of our top players, I would include myself. That seems a little bit conceited, but a lot of our top players are very, very good when it comes to helping. If it's whether it's at their game, sometimes during the game, it's just sitting down and talking to them about what their deck can do in certain spots, what can be done during a combo. Maybe if somebody is presenting a breach line, we will like lay out our hands and be like, this is what we have. How can we come together as three players to beat this combo? And that seems basic, but I've seen players not do that. They tend to get very secretive with their communication with what they have, and that can be very daunting for a new player because sometimes they'll have the answer and they'll feel bad about it. They won't know how to use it. They'll be scared to talk. And I think our scene can be a good demonstration for what players should do. And if you're just open about it, people can learn a lot faster, and not only learn, but maybe within that own game fix the problem then and there. And it's just very, very productive for getting better. So being more open with what you have, talking to your opponents more.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really enjoy about CEDH is that when someone's going, like, we're all friends until someone tries to go for a win, and then it's 3v1. I think we played a 3-hour game on our Discord the other day, and it was literally me versus the other three people, and they were just sharing information. I absolutely love it. It was the most ridiculous game. It's because of Flash and because of a bunch of draws and triggers and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So that's super fun. What deck do you normally play when you're playing CEDH?
Oh, I'm a Rogsai guy. I have a Rogsai playmat downstairs. I try and make Rogsai variants of a bunch of different decks. I'm actually going to be bringing a Najila Rogsai spinoff to a Winna Tundra upcoming weekend here. I love making everything turbo.
Sure, 5-color turbo, interesting. Asika and some other different decks.
She's a 3-mana she's a 3-mana Rograk. She sacks the flare. She turns on your free spells.
Sure, she's red. Yeah, why not? Yep, you get an extra card in the 99 instead of running up those. Have you tried Wrong Side yet?
I have not tried Wrong Side yet. No.
No, you haven't. Okay, I mean it's interesting. The guys over at Critical EDH, Logan is very big proponent of that over there. It's just basically just a bunch of value engines that it can also just kind of turbo. It's an interesting one. It's an interest. So
I'll try it.
What deck do you think is going to take down the entire tournament? Just if you had to guess right now, just shot in the dark, which deck is winning the entire tournament?
I'll have to go with Blue Farm. It always seems to get there. I'm always so unimpressed. I know it's a good deck. It might be B-diff, but like I just always am so unimpressed by Blue Farm, and then it gets there. They have their Ranger Captain in play for one turn too long, and then they get there, and it just happens every game.
Is there anyone that you want to like shout out as a special member of your community?
There's a player who's been running a lot of events. His name is Josh Patton. He has run basically every event we've had in the area, bar some LGS specific events. So he's been very big in growing the community. He's put together a group chat. He's been a standout guy when it comes to growing the scene. I want to shout out a game store in town, The Hidden Lair. Specifically Doran and Derek. That's the manager and owner. They've been incredible. They actually hosted my last event. They let me come in, do basically whatever I wanted. They were incredible. They're great guys, but they were incredible for helping me. Plus, they've always just been there. They were the game store I learned how to play at. They were the game store at something on my first precon, the tribal precons. So, they've been incredible for that. Given my age, it would seem irresponsible to not thank my parents. Whenever you're my age, plus growing up playing Magic, none of it could be done without them, obviously. And then obviously, there's so many friends that I don't have time to name, but they know I'm talking about that. There's so many friends who are incredible in this community. CEDH is just so full of players that you wish you could name all of them because there's just so many incredible ones.
I'm with you on that one. I made my best friends in the world from playing CEDH, from playing Magic. It's just you're always around, you're enjoying each other, you're sometimes a little bit salty, but it's good fun. You spend a lot of time with them. Any final last words before we sign off?
It'll be worth it. Show up. Hopefully, if you show up, I can grow my feature events too. Every player that shows up might be a potential increase in my next tournament. Keep growing.
Absolutely. I think it's a great spot. I think the Midwest is fantastic. It's pretty easy and inexpensive to get there. It's pretty cool in general. And once again, it's between the East and the West Coast, so you don't have to fly all the way over to, California or anything like that. It's normally going to be like a 2 hour, 3 hour, wherever you are in the United States for the most part, unless you're, in Illinois or the adjacent states. But I just want to thank you for coming on. I'm excited to see how this goes. I really want to make sure that this is like a large event. I want to be able to come back next time, and I'm really looking forward to the large cap of individuals and at a very affordable price. So, Lucas, I want to thank you so much for letting us do this. We'll probably be talking again, probably doing a gameplay at some point in time, maybe with you with Rogside, just turn one in us, and like that would be the easiest edit in the world. Because like, cool, turn one win, cool. No, I just want to thank you for your time. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. We'll definitely be in touch for sure. But otherwise, I'm going to stop recording.